Good morning, I'm Elle. I'm the Keystone Stitcher. Welcome or welcome back. I know we've had a few new people pop in here, so welcome. I hope you like what you see. This has been crazy last 2 weeks. I don't know what I was doing. You probably realize I show you every 2 weeks anywhere from 4 to 6 projects. I touched 10, so it's almost, I mean, I have 16 whips total, so this is, almost close to a whip parade. But before we get into the whips and everything that I worked on and get into mania plans, I have a giveaway. So let me get that out here. So I showed the most recent copy of the Just Cross Stitch magazine. This is the summer edition. And yeah, when you have a subscription, you also get access to all the digitals. So I'd rather have a digital than the paper copy. So I said I would give this to anybody in the US because it would cost me more to ship it than it is to buy it. And the winner, here's the screenshot, is Dondi1105. So congratulations. Get me your information. You can reach me at thekeystonestitcher@gmail.com or the Keystone Stitcher on Instagram. And I'll have both those down below if you need to see them. Okay, so before we get into the whips, I have a finish. And I don't know how well I'm going to show. I'm going to have to put a picture in, but here is my Weaver's Tapestry. So yeah, this is huge. And there we go. There's the bottom. So let me bring this in a little closer for you, and you can see all of these amazing animals. I started with this and thinking, okay, those bottom ones look kind of like donkeys, and then we've got deer at a salt lick, and now we got a griffin. And then we go back to, typical wild animals, and there we go. So this, let me get my notes here so I don't forget anything I was going to tell you. This is a free design that was released, 2017, 2018 by magicalquilts.blogspot.com, and it's still available. There's 3 different versions of Weaver's Tapestries. There's a bird one, an animal one, and then this one. They come in bands of approximately 10 stitches high by the full width, so you get that. I stitched this on an 18 count Scapellos Aida by the Sewing Shop, and it almost looks white, but this is very pale blue with splotches of dark blue. And I really thought that resembled water, and I grew up along Lake Erie, which is a freshwater lake, and so I like that. But it almost, I can't get it all in. It almost looks like sky, being a long band sampler. I used 3371 to kind of give it that feel of earthiness. And then the frame is from my favorite frame place, which is R2 Frames, an online shop. And to give you an idea, price-wise, I ordered the frame for Beetle Pop. I ordered this frame. I ordered a frame for one that was even larger for my grandson, and to do my Modern Folk embroidery 4 seasons that I just had never finished. And all 4 of those frames were less than $200. So much cheaper than taking it out and having it framed. But I will tell you, lacing is not something I enjoy, and I could never do it for a career. Do that every day, all day long. I would lose my mind. Okay, so anything else I want to tell you? Oh, this measures 143 wide by 502 in height. I started September of 2023, and I finished it April 21st, 2024. And I think that's probably all I have to tell you. I'm going to pause this for a minute. I'm going to set this up back here and see if I can at least let you see how beautiful this is, and I will also put in a picture of the whole piece. Okay, there we go. So actually, yeah, I don't think I need to put a picture in because you can see it. So that's my Weaver's Tapestry. I'm so thrilled. That's my 3rd large finish of the year. I have 2 more that I plan to finish this year. The 2 combined is about 130,000 stitches, so it'll be a while before I finish those. But in the meantime, let's look at the whips. So I'm going to start this basically, oh, you know what? No, before I move on, I want to show you, because this is a free design set up to be monochromatic, and I did mine monochromatic. But I wanted to show you, I went on Instagram and I found a few more examples of weavers' tapestries and various stages of finish. And I will give you the Instagram handles so you can always go join and join. So you can follow them and see their progress if you'd like. This first one is Munchkin Kitty Paws. And I think hers is absolutely gorgeous. I love how she used the colors. This one is TXSquishy, and it's all pinks and purples, and I loved it, but it's not something that would ever work in my home. Those are not my colors. Then we have the North Carolina Stitcher, and she did hers in reds. I'm assuming it's 115 DMC. It's variegated, but it could be another variegated red. And that one I like. I really do. I'm not sure that... I tried stitching one other project one time in 115, and it was too red for me. It just wasn't something that I thought I could do. And finally, Debbie from Creatively Yours. Hers was the most striking to me, and one that I never would have thought would have been my colors. But oh boy, when I saw hers, I thought, oh yeah, I could definitely see that hanging on the wall. I haven't seen Debbie working on hers in a while, so I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and see if she finished hers or if it just kind of got pushed aside for other things. Okay, so we've now done the finish. Let's get on to the rest of the whips. So I have 9 here in the pile to show you. This first one has the least amount of progress. And basically I did a strand of floss, which I use long flosses, and I outlined an area. So it's my Night Fairy, and I should move so I can see if I could put the pictures over here so you're not covering them up. Okay, so is that better? All right, so this is Night Fairy, and all I did was I worked a little bit on the moon here. This is 746, and then I came down, I think you can see that line, and I outlined the rest of the moon here, and this here is 3865, which I thought I was done with 3865 when I finished Beetle Pop. So the reason this got pulled out is that our weather changed. We went from cold and rainy to 80 degrees and sunny and beautiful, and I want to be outside. But there are times I want to be outside and I want to stitch, and unlike when I lived in my house, which about a year ago I moved into an apartment, I had my entire property, I had a covered porch, I had a deck. I could take my floss outside, I could take my big case, I could take my tablet, I could set things up. I can't do that here. I really, our outdoor space is shared space. So by outlining this, I can take, do I have it? No, I don't have it over here. I just throw this in a large Ziploc bag. I throw my scissors, and in this case, the 2 flosses, go outside, and I can stitch, and I'm not in anybody's way. I don't need my tablet. I don't need anything. So that's all I basically did. I did 1 strand of floss, and I did the outlining. Okay, so then we moved on to my Dimensions project. And this is Feast and Frenzy. This is by Dimensions. I'm stitching this along with Elisa from eCrafting in Colorado and Selena Bobo Handcrafts. And here's where I got to. So I filled in this area right here, this dark color down here. And then I worked up here on putting in this roof. So this little bit of brown and all these tans. And that's where that is. So that's on, oh, I didn't tell you fabric. All right, Night Fairy is on a 16 count antique white. It's an unknown fabric. This is one I dyed myself using teal rit. So I didn't work anymore on the birds. I just worked on getting the bird feeder in. Let's see if I can. And I will show you the before. So yeah, let's move it along. Okay, so once I did that, I then went to the old sled, which, let me see if I can put this all together here. And the old sled, I thought I had these in order. They're not in order according to my list. I'm missing one. Hold on. I'm back. I thought I had that so organized. See, 10 projects is too many for me. Okay, so we're going to continue where I was. This is the old sled. This is from the Just Cross Stitch magazine, December 2023. The artwork is by Elizabeth Spurlock. And I basically came up here and did this side. And then I started to put this arch piece in. Okay, there we go. The arch in. Now the top is totally done. There's a couple stitches that go right in there. But other than that, the top is done. And you'll see it's not a straight line, which is really kind of nice. So what I plan to do with this is to frame it just a little bit higher to give the effect of the sky in the background. But here's where it was before, so you can see the difference. This is on 18 count Aida that I dyed myself. Shouldn't take too much longer to finish that. That's working up rather quickly. Okay, so that's the old sled. Now we'll go to the one that I missed, and that is Paula Vaughan's Friendship Quilts. And this is what it will look like. I can get this set up here. And basically I worked a little bit more. So I filled in the window up here, filled that in, and then I came down and started putting a little bit of the quilt in, and then I did the back stitch to outline and give you the effect of the slats on, or the siding slats. So, and the windows also. So all that outlining is done except for where it touches the back of the chair and that quilt. So here it is up close, and here it is where it was before. So I will have a lot more fun with this when I'm out of those browns. But yeah, I enjoyed pulling that out. This again is on an 18 count that I dyed myself. I'm not sure I'm going to handle the ground because the ground is not stitched and I didn't realize that. I wanted the sky effect on it instead of using a white fabric, but I didn't realize that that meant I wasn't going to have... Okay, so here's what it will look like, and you can see the ground, the porch. The porch is just kind of outlined to give you some shading. I may need to fill that in, but I'm too far into this now, so we're going to keep going, and I'll figure it out as I go. Okay, so now we're back on track here. So this next one is Eyes of the Forest. It was a new start last month, and this is what it will look like. I am stitching this with the Patient Stitcher, Carrie, and so we just started this last month, and I'd had about 200 stitches in. I don't remember how many stitches I have now, but I'm at 2.49%. This is on an 18 count that I dyed myself. The artwork is by Ina Bedenko, and you can find this on mybobbin.com. It is a downloadable PDF. And so yeah, so right here is one eye, over here starts the other eye, and then the beak will come in here. So I started this one right in the middle, which is not typical for me. This one has blended threads, which I've never done a full coverage with blended threads, but I really like the effect. So when you're changing colors, so anywhere where there's two colors, they will blend the two colors, those two colors, for a smooth transition between the two. So there's a lot of blends because of that. But that's my Eyes of the Forest, and we'll be seeing some more of that later. The next one I pulled out is by Thread Geeks. This is A Promise of Tomorrow, and the artwork is by Shawna Erback. This is on a 20 count Evenweave. I'll get that out of the way so I don't forget the fabric. And basically what I did is I came down and I started here. So I started on that next page down there. I didn't have a whole lot of stitching time, and I just didn't feel like working in this mess. So I'll need to come back up there and finish those. So I have this first page completely finished. You can kind of see the outline of the moon behind there. So it goes kind of like that. And then I have a little bit in page 2 to finish, and then quite a bit in page 3. So this one here, I am now at 20.84%. This is one of the projects that I've chosen to do 24% in 2024. So I will need to reach 46.82%, which is not a lot. I think it's about 12,000 stitches. So let me see if I can put in a before next to this. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why I'm going to show you the before, because it's just down here that I worked. So there's that one. I think I can do the 24 and 24. I think I'll be fine with that. But this next one was going to be my 24 and 24 as well. I had 3 projects I picked for that. And that one's not going to succeed or not be reached. So it's going to be a total failure on my part. And that is Strength. The artwork is by Nicolee Payne, charted by UnconventionalXStitch. And yeah, how am I going to do this for you? I might need to move this over here. Okay, so I did this page, and then I came down, where is it? And I filled in these browns right here to finish this page. So I have 2 page finishes. All right, let me put it here so you can see. I took 2 pictures. I didn't know I would get this first page finished. So I took a picture of that, and you can see the difference there. And then it's fairly noticeable, but down there is the browns, and there's the before of that. So that's, other than some black that I took all the way to the bottom, that's where she is. So in order to do 24%, an additional 24%, so 24 and 24, I would have needed to finish 48,000 stitches. And I would have needed to reach 46.82%. I'm currently at 27.28, and yeah, I think I've done like 4,000, 5,000 stitches. There's just no way with everything else I'm doing that was a little too much of a challenge. So yeah, I'm just, instead of telling you every month that, hey, I'm not going to make my goal, we're just not going to count that as part of my 24 and 24. Okay, and that fabric was very light pewter. It's a 16 count by Zweigart. So this next one is what, now we're into my focus pieces. So now that I finished Beetle Pop and I finished the Weaver's Tapestry, that left me with 2 projects that I wanted to finish for the year. And I've decided that I'm going to alternate those 2 projects. So every other week, I will pick one. So for example, this week I'll work on Stone Expression. Next week will be the other project, and then back to Stone Expression. And speaking of Stone Expression, this is what it will look like. And here's where I am. So I thought I would work, page by page all the way across, and then come down and do the next row. Last summer, my granddaughter, while I was working up here, asked me to count down and do her face. She wanted to see the face. So I did that. And then I decided to try to connect the 2 a little bit, so she wasn't just hanging out by herself. And now I've come up here and started working on this. So let me show you the before. And I just worked on this second page here. So you can see her arm came in, and she's holding that vine or that greenery. And I'll bring her in closer so you can see that. So there's still a few missing stitches along the way there. But that's not looking too bad. I'm really enjoying that. So this one now is at 19.83%. The artwork is by Giuseppe Macconi, who is an Italian artist living in Norway, who then met Megan, who is an American living in Norway. She's stitching Moon on Flosstube, and she's stitching Moon Designs on Etsy, which is where I purchased this. So this will be a finish this year. I still have 76,000 stitches to finish before the year is over. And then I have one other project that I will finish, and that is my 4 Seasons. This was sold by Soda Stitch. It was designed by Dome, and I will put a link down below of a place where I found you can purchase the original. Other than that, it appears to be out of print. Although this site that I found, it tells me that living in the US, they do not sell to my country. So maybe you know somebody in another country that can get this if you really like it. I don't know. But this is Four Seasons. So this is the whole piece as far as I am now. And let me see if I can find it. Where to go? Right here. This right here. This right there is the exact center of the design. So this one's a large one. Some people are pretty surprised when they hear the size. This is 602 by 210. So I've done, well, 210 high, and I'm basically, about 300 stitches in. So working halfway. Now, all I did this last time is I finished the stitches in this rooftop, finished the roof here, mostly finished the roof. It's only when you get to the bottom along the black, along those dark colors. And then I came down on this building and I started filling in the white between, and of course all this down here is new. So I'll bring this in closer and show you before that section. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, quite a bit new went into that. This one is now at 44.63%. But similar to Stone Expression, this one still has 51,000 stitches left. So these two will take me a while. Now that brings me, that's the end of what I've worked on. So now it's my plans and it's Mania. So I came up with an idea to do Macabre May. And I know there's a movement to not use the word mania because of mental health, and so we're just going to start trying to just call this my May. And I picked two. Let me go back to my notes and maybe I'll get this right. I picked 4 projects that fit the word macabre, the definition of it. I did a video explaining how each of these projects fit the definition of the word macabre. So you want to check out my last video, which is planning for May. These projects, one is very explicit in, it's definitely concerns the word death and is macabre. The other 3 are more mythological in meaning and how they fit, but they all do fit the definition. So I'll show you pictures of what each of these projects are, and then I'll show you the 2 that you will see at the end. These ones, so what I'm going to do, wow, I am just all over the place. Okay, let's define my May. So Macabre May, I'm going to pick one of these projects, and during the weekdays, so Monday through Friday, I will put 500 stitches in on that project. The rest of the day, I will continue to work on my focus pieces, which are Stone Expression and Four Seasons, because I'm really on target to finish those, but I don't want to fall behind and then be trying to rush to get it done at the end of the year. So I still want to touch those. Now, I wasn't sure when I did my planning video what I was going to do for the weekends. I toyed around with taking my macabre piece and working on it all day Saturday and Sunday, but then I thought, that's going to it means I'm going to have 2 projects all week, and I'm going to get bored. So I'm going to spin a wheel, and I'm going to take all of the projects that are not either my 2 focus pieces or my 4 macabre pieces. And I will spin that wheel, and whatever I get is what I will work on, and I will work on them for one day. So Saturday will be one project, and Sunday will be another, and then I'll go back to my weekday projects. Okay, so that kind of tells you how I'm going to work this. So the 4 projects that I've chosen are Masquerade, which will be this. This is by UnconventionalXStitch, and the artwork is by Christopher Lavelle. I'm currently at 4.65%, and I'll show you that in a minute. The second one is One for Sorrow. The artwork is by Stephanie Puy-Moon Law. It's charted by Heaven Earth Designs. I'm at 10.49%. The next one I just recently showed you is Eyes of the Forest, which is from My Bobbin. The artwork is by Ina Bedenko, I believe is how she says her name. And I'm at 2.49%. And Death in the Garden, which is this one. And those two I started last month. So that one is by Megan Majeski. Her artwork is charted by UnconventionalXStitch. And I'm currently at 1.51%. So now this week, so today is Wednesday, May 1st. Weekday wise, there's 3 days. Then we have 4 weeks. So what I did to decide what I was going to work on and when is I stuck these 4 projects on a wheel. I'm starting to use a wheel like the rest of you guys. And whatever project I picked first would be the one that, I can't get this on here, I would work on today through Friday, and then I would leave it on my wheel and allow it to get a full week. Because I have 4 projects, there's 4 full weeks plus these 3 days. So the project that came up for this week is Masquerade. And so this is where I am on Masquerade. So I'm removing the background as I go. I don't recommend it. If you can purchase a chart without the background, do that, because this, to try to figure out which dark colors to keep and which ones to eliminate, to keep the outline and the integrity, it's difficult. It slows down my stitching. So this is where I am. I'm not sure. I have a little bit to finish in here. Let me bring that in there. So there's a little bit, you can see there's a couple missing up here. There's some missing in that feather and around here. This feather, I believe, is done. Yes, this feather is all done. So I can move over here and work on more feathers, or I can, work down, or I don't know. But if I complete 500 stitches a day, I'll have added an additional 2,500 stitches to this. So all of Christopher Lavelle's artwork is extremely confetti heavy. So it's not just this one, but they're confetti heavy. So the other one the next one that I spun will be, and I should tell you that I spun this next one, and then when I spun the 3rd time, Masquerade came up. So the week that I record again, the 13th through the 15th that week, is when Masquerade will get its full week. And the other one that I spun is One for Sorrow. So this is by, did I put this up right? Nope, that way. Hold on, please. I was looking at that going, that just does not look right. Okay, so this is by Stephanie Poumonois. This is One for Sorrow. And there we go. That looks better. I was like, yeah, okay, that's a bird's beak, but yeah. And I have finally found where the bottom of all these light colors will be. And so my thinking is maybe finish this in and then maybe come over here and try working my way across. So yeah, there's my starting point. And yeah, I have a needle stuck right there. I usually take them out and put them up on top, but so that's kind of fun. The first 2 projects that were spun are my whips, ones that have been, as you can tell, sorely neglected. And then the ones that will come up for the second 2 weeks will be my new starts. So that is, I think, it. Did I forget anything? That's a lot. Okay, so Dondi 1105, reach out to me and I will get you the Just Cross Stitch magazine out in the mail for you. And for everyone else, enjoy May, enjoy the weather. Oh yeah, you will also probably in May see Night Fairy come out, because if it's nice and warm and I want to stitch outside, that will come out. I won't be trying to take these other large projects outside. Okay, so I'm just rambling at this point, right? Have a great May. If you're doing something special for May, tell me down below. Give me some ideas for next year. And with that, I will say goodbye.